So hi team. So my name is Rohit, and I'm currently working as a tech lead in Nasdaq, as well as Abhishek is also a part of Nasdaq, and he's also working as a tech lead. So today we are presenting a topic that is related to Kubeclarity, that is for the supply chain security. So agenda for this Kubeclarity topic, like we have to cover up the introduction part of the Kubeclarity, like why we are using and what are the advantage and what are the things we are currently used for our Kubeclarity and why we use Kubeclarity. And then we are cover up like key features and benefits of Kubeclarity, like on day-to-day life about Kubernetes clusters or CI/CD integration, or any part of the specific application packages, whatever we are work in day-to-day software life cycles. We are cover up this key features and benefits of Kubeclarity. And after that, once this will be done, we are covering about architecture of Kubeclarity. In between, then I will show you about SBOM, like how can we are integrate with software billing and how can what we are achieving with the vulnerabilities and how the severity level we will check about specific application, specific packages, as well as specific over whatever you are written in the code and whatever the overall score of the vulnerability. Like the severity will be a medium, high, low, this kind of architecture I will explain on this agenda. And after that, I will come to the use case. Like I will come to one use case, like, so suppose we are currently working as a Kubernetes cluster and we have set up a Kubernetes cluster and we have written a code. And in between them, we have used some of the packages and also some of the specific application as well as pod cluster, whatever the services we have to implement it. And what are the use case, like how can we overcome these situations, and the conclusion and demo, the last thing that will be present by Abhishek. So I will start with the introduction. So introduction is somewhat like why we are using Kubeclarity. So you can say in our word is a simply we can say that Kubeclarity is a DevOps tool that we are using for enhancing of management, monitoring, and optimization of Kubernetes cluster. So it will be manage your Kubernetes cluster as well, and it will be monitored whatever the Kubernetes services you are using. Like you are working as a pod, or you are using any of the services, any between you are using the different namespaces according to your department or organization levels. Like someone is working on XYZ and someone is working on ABC resources, and they have created their own namespaces. So for that one, how can you manage that cluster, or you can say how can you monitor that things, like whatever you have set up in Kubernetes cluster, like it will be a AKS, EKS, and GK according to your requirement, and also the optimization. So the cost optimization, like Kubernetes cluster, if you set up any of the cluster and in between them you are using any of the things like for the cluster specific, like if you are creating some of the load balancers and also auto scaling, this kind of concept, and you can see about the cost optimization as well with the help of Kubernetes. So it is also a professional with the part of containerized applications. Now, nowadays, we are working as a container apps orchestrator for the application, and it will be quite helpful for organize, or you can say helpful for or helpful for our management as well as the part of orchestrators for the Kubernetes. And also like that will be a part of management and observability solution to smooth function of this complex environment. So currently in our organizations you are working on different environment, like prod, pre-prod, dev, UA, staging, this kind of environment you are working, and it will be quite difficult to handle about the costing scenarios as well. Like if you come off any of the cluster and somewhat you are working on that one and you are doing some of the testing and you have to not remove that one or you have not deleted that cluster, so it will be impact on your cost side as well. So that Kubeclarity will be helpful for us, and it will be also giving us that severity as well as the trigger point, like somewhat you are getting some of that, like this Kubernetes cluster has taken this kind of amount, and how much you have invested and how much the services you have used according to the requirement. So this way we can use this as a Kubeclarity. You can simply take it like it will be enhancing our management, monitoring, and the optimization of the Kubernetes clusters. So that's why we are using this Kubeclarity. And for Kubeclarity, we can say it's an open source vulnerability scanning for detecting and management software billing of material. I will come to this software SBOM part, like why you are using this SBOM and what are the concept behind for SBOM for software billing and the vulnerability of container image and the file systems as well. So it will also helpful for working, or you can say over vulnerabilities for container images and the file systems as well. And as I have already mentioned, like it will scan your runtime Kubernetes cluster, and also it will be also helpful for CI/CD pipelines as well for software supply chain security purpose. So this tool is quite important, and this tool is quite helpful for the cluster perspective and our CI/CD integrations for the deployment plannings, whatever we have done, and what are the things we are doing for our day-to-day environment specific. So it will be so for Kubeclarity, it will be mentioned like this is be done by Cisco OpenClarity. So this is the one of the generation of security scanning that providing you security scans of your K8 environment. So whatever the environment you are setting for the container images and whatever the things you are doing for the security scanning, that will helpful for that part for the Kubernetes cluster, and that will also helpful for the CI/CD scanning vulnerability. Like somewhat, I will give you one example. Suppose you are working as a Kubeclarity, and that will be a dashboard, and in between them you are written some of the code. So in between the code, it will also listed your package, and it will also check your severity on the code as well, and it will give you scenarios like how much it will be severity, like it will be a low, it will be a medium, or it will be a high. So it will give you all the results according to the need, according to whatever you have worked in your environment. So this will be provided by Kubeclarity. So this is the introduction that I have covered about the Kubeclarity. So for that one, so first I will come to like SBOM. So previous I was mentioning like Kubeclarity is a SBOM scan tool. So same way, I will tell you what is SBOM. So full form of SBOM, you can say software bill of materials. So it is usually for inventory list of our software environment outline and its component and dependencies. Like I have previously mentioned about the package dependencies, the libraries, as well as the components that you are using for any of the environment like Kubernetes or CI/CD integration that you are using for the deployment and the integration, and for the services based or you say load balancers, auto scaling, this kind of concepts. And also it will enhance our software applications and also understand our software composition and potential risk as well. If you see that software bill of lifecycle, it will create an update and define inventory items. So inventory item, whatever you like, you have the components version, you have the usage, you have the alerts and notification, and you have the task, whatever the task you have performed, and what kind of vulnerability. Like it will provide you a severity of vulnerabilities as that, like sometimes it will show you up there is some of the bug that you have to be worked, and somehow it will show you the severity level as well, like it will be high, it will be medium, or it will be low, and the license and the third party notices as well. So that way we can use SBOM for faculty security and compliance efforts by enabling tracking and management. Like somehow if you rewrote any kind of code, any kind of thing in your environment, and you have to also check out about the security and compliance, whether you are also checking for the security sites, like whether this will be a private or this will be a public part. That thing will be also helpful from this concept related to Kubeclarity for the SBOM. And also that will be a part of, you can say, governance and risk management part as well in our day-to-day life. Whenever audit will come, that will be helpful for security and governance part, this kind of concept. So this will be SBOM that we are using for the Kubeclarity concept. And then for key features and benefits for this Kubeclarity. So first point, same way like monitoring and observability, it will be provide you a monitoring capabilities for take the health and the performance of your Kubernetes cluster and application running. So whatever the application you are running currently in your environment or AKS cluster or EKS or GKE, it will provide you a health and the performance of Kubernetes cluster, whether this cluster will be a healthy or not healthy state, or the application, whatever the application currently you are running in your environment, or specifically, it will also provide you details related to the package libraries as well. So whatever the application you are using, that will be helpful, and also it will be helpful for your packages and as well your application side as well. Automations, like automations, so simply you can turn out about the scaling, you can scale out scaling according to the requirement, and also you can reduce manual intervention and human errors. Like somehow I have written the code and I have put it and I have pushed the code, and somehow if I am getting to forget some of the hard coded value that I have attached, or somehow I need to be removed or I need to be fixed, so that way we can, this will be helpful for us for Kubeclarity. Security. So I have already mentioned about it will be helpful for security and compliance over vulnerability scanning as well as compliance checks. So whatever the things we are doing in certain scenarios on the environment, it will be helpful for our security part as well. CI/CD integration, like seamlessly, it will be helpful for pipeline to automate software delivery processes, and also it will be integrate our content analyzer. So these are the analyzers currently we are using, the Market Safe, Cyclonets, and Go Mode. So these are the generation for SBOM currently we are using for the content analyzer. So these are the details for CI/CD integration and resource optimization. So same way, like you can utilize your resources according to with your Kubernetes cluster, like you have to increase your nodes or you have to decrease it, or any kind of node pool you have to work, or also you have to provide a compute memory and storage resources. So suppose you are currently using largest if having a 2 virtual CPU or 4 GB of RAM, you have to enhance 4 to 8, like 4 virtual CPU and 8 GB of RAM. You can do it, and or on the same way you can decrease as well according to the resources for that part for our Kubeclarity. And the troubleshooting, so it will be helpful for troubleshooting, like somehow if you face any of the issue related to the Kubernetes cluster, like somehow you are facing on the node pool issue, or some of the issue related to the applications, or you can say it pod is not taking the request from your props. So health checks will be helpful for this troubleshooting steps. Benefit, like as already things are coming like increased efficiency, so simply it will be a very smooth process for DevOps processes and streamlined Kubernetes, and reducing our manual effort and improve our overall efficiency. Enhance visibility, same way like for monitoring and observability, offering real-time insights from Kubernetes cluster. And security and also already we have covered a lot of things about the security as well as for cost optimization. So cost optimization is quite an important role in our day-to-day organizations level for the environment, because it's quite difficult to understand and check about whatever the resources currently you are using and what are the things you are doing for storage optimization, for cost optimization, or simply you can say you have done it for your cluster specific, or you can say simply your storages or key vaults, this kind of thing work. So for this Kubeclarity, it will be provide you a data like one-to-one all the processes details as well as the cost details as well. So these are the keys and benefits for Kubeclarity. And then Kubeclarity analyzer. So I have previously tell you about the analyzer. So Kubeclarity container integrates with following as beyond generator. So Sift is also one of them. Kube is also one of them, and Cyclone Gmode is also one of them. And Kubeclarity vulnerability scanning integrated with following scanners as well. Like these are the scanners are also used for tracking your whatever the integration you have done for the vulnerabilities part. So Grape and all that dependency and tree. So these are the Kubeclarity analyzer that we are using. And then architecture. So this is the architecture currently we are following for, you can say for Kubeclarity. So this is the K8 cluster that you have set up, like it will be a GK, EKS, AKS, according to your requirement you have set up. And in between that there is a UI user that also work on it, and there will be a CI/CD CLI as well, like for vulnerability scanners, export, scan benefits and Kubeclarity. So this is the part that for UI and CI/CD, and the Kubeclarity in between them, there will be a backend, there will be a SBOM DB, runtime scan orchestrator as well, UI, and these are the centralized scanners. I will tell you one by one about what is backend, SBOM, UI, containers, scanners, and how it is integrate our vulnerability scannings and scanner jobs and whatever the things. And this is the application port that you are currently hosting in your containerized app. So come to the architecture flow. So this is the backend. So backend first, it is referred to the infrastructure and services that support the operation of Kubernetes cluster and application running of them. So as the mentioned, like for the backend, it will provide you efforts to your infrastructure as well as the services that you are supported for Kubernetes cluster, like any of the services you are using and whatever the applications currently running on that will be a backend. Modular designer, so it will provide you a modular designer for Kubernetes for microservice architecture principle, and it will provide you each component independently. So this is the module designer. REST API and microservice based architecture. So this tool is also provided you an API distributing our functional across multi-region, or you can say multiple components, and invoking each other about APIs, and also it will provide you through a CLI as well as on UI across VI via your APIs as well. Centralized scanners, like it will configure your centralized scanners for within a vulnerabilities, whatever the vulnerabilities you are doing for the database, or you enhance your security efficiency or your resources. So this will be helpful for your centralized scanner. And configurable, like the same way that it will be helpful for local and remote configuration for servers configurations as well as for the deployment. This thing will be helpful for you for that provided. And the user-friendly interface. So this will be provide you a user-friendly CLI, and it will be not a typical task like it will be you have to do it some of the packages or some of the things you need to do. It will be quite user-friendly interface, like you can do it, and it will be CLI. It will show you about what the demo when Abhishek will be present to you. It will show about how can he will show about how can he will use CLIs in between them. And the runtime scan orchestrator. So this will be also responsible for scanning and as well as your orchestrator. And also it will generate your report result as well. Whatever the report will be generated and what kind of errors you are facing. This will also show, like it will be give you that details related to errors as well as success, whatever the success you have done and what are the errors you are getting in your code and your application and the packages. And UI dashboard, already this is also complete, like for the vulnerability for security and CLI as well, like same way that will be triggered with controls as well as our enhancing tool functionality for that one. And SBOM DMA. So this is the part like we are using for SBOM for persistent storage, volume storage over, and it is primarily used for SBOM DBs. So whatever the DBs you are using for memory caching as well as for storing and retrieving your documents for the SBOM, so it will be helpful for that. So this is the whole architecture that we are using for our Kubeclarity point of view. So in that we have this content analyzer that already we have shown, like it is run several content analyzer in parallel. Like you can see this is the image directory and config, there is a SBOM, and in between this is a content analyzer, like it will be config, there will be a multiple config, there will be multiple analyzer that we are using, and these are the SBOM, multiple SBOM that will be a format for our SBOM. So this is the things like we are using for pluggable infrastructure. So this is the content analyzer we are using for the Kubeclarity, and this part is also you can say for CI/CD integration. It will scan an image from several CI stages as well, and it will provide like a directory config content analyzer. Again, it will be provide you dependencies, application dependencies, and also image and config. And that way, same way, it will be provide you app plus image dependency, also image and config and vulnerability. And it will also scan and merge multiple, you can say, SBOM and vulnerability reports and your CI/CD configurations as well with the CI/CD part. So this is quite helpful for integration point of view for Kubeclarity. And use case. So this is the use case that I will tell you about continuous deployment with Kubeclarity. So suppose a company is using a Kubernetes cluster to manage the containerized application, and they have their multiple development part, like they have to work on a microservice and they want to stream their deployment process while ensuring reliability, stability, and reliability. So it will be a stable as well, and it will be reliable as well. So for that one, like it will be by the infrastructure provisioning. Like if you see the DevOps, so it will be provide you a infrastructure requirement for the Kubernetes. Like I have mentioned about the cluster, like node and nodes and port and all that. And it will provide you a desired state as well for infrastructure, like declarative, or you can say it will provide you a cloud providers, ensuring consistent and testing and broad environment as well. Like I have mentioned about the environments, like it will be a dev, it will be a prod, test, any of them. It will be helpful for providing an infrastructure provisioning. So CI/CD pipeline, so it will be also helpful for a build, test, and deploy process for their Kubernetes cluster while doing a CI/CD pipeline setup. So these are the steps it will be performed, and they will integrate their source code repository. Like you are using source code, GitHub, any kind of Bitbucket. So it will be also using for pipeline execution, and when it will be trigger, it will be integrate with your whatever the code you are written with the code repository. It will be helpful for us. And then containerized application build. So this will be helpful for a version control system as well. And, as I mentioned about GitHub, same way it will be provide and manage that fact. It will be automatically fetching our code and also build container images, as well as it will be run unit test cases as well. like for the CI/CD flow, whatever we are doing for like build, test, and deploy the application, these kind of things, it will be helpful as well. And deployment of Kubernetes cluster, same way like the last approach for the deployment, like you have to do a for deployment. It will be helpful for provided the necessary Kubernetes manifest and whatever the requirements is coming. So we have to provide, it will provide you a consistent stability and reliability. So this is the use case of the Kubeclarity that will provide. And monitoring and observability, like also it will be monitor and observe each and everything, like whatever you are doing on application side, or you can say packages, or like also for your application perspective. So this will be also check your health and performance of specify your Kubernetes clusters application as well. Like cluster is healthy or not, it will be also provide the details. And also it will give you the matrices, whatever the dashboard it will become, it will show you a very user friendly and good monitoring part for Kubeclarity. And security and compliance, same way, like it will be best for Kubernetes, like policies like we are using for RBAC. So this is the role-based access policy that we are using, and secret manager to ensure secret access and data protection. So this is quite good for security and compliance side as well for Kubeclarity. Now, if you see the outcome, so by leveraging Kubeclarity, you are getting first point, continuous deployment and management of Kubernetes cluster. So this part you have get it, and then company will achieve faster time to market for software releases. So you know you have the target, you have the sprint planning, you have the things like you have to deliver the product, or you have to do it a software release according to time. With the help this, you can achieve this as a faster time to market as well, and also it will be helpful for providing the deployment productivity and collaboration. And also it will provide you reliability, scalability, as well as your security for containerized app on the or on your Kubernetes as well. So this way, like it will provide you outcomes of Kubeclarity when you are using in the market. And this is the way like you can use this. And conclusion, same way like we can add effectiveness. So it will be also provided that it will be give you easy factor of scalability, reliability, and the integration with existing tool of the workflow, whatever you are using in the that cluster. User satisfaction, so if all the things are provided well, so there will be satisfaction, and there will be a positive feedback regarding whatever the product, what are the features, performance, and scalability and support, all of the things related to your environment. Adoption and community, so if you see that the part is it will be a key factor as well. If you see on their Kubeclarity, they will update regular based, and they will update their all the things in community, and it will be a very good tool for use it. And innovation and roadmap, so and clear roadmap, like it will be clearly part for, you can say, for the development side, and address and industry standards as well, like whatever the things you are doing in the environment, whatever the needs, you have to do it. So this will be also helpful. And the landscape, like it will be provide a unique feature for better performance, user experience, and all that things in this Kubeclarity. So this is the way like we are using the Kubeclarity and the components and the use case and whatever the features we are using, and what are the things we are currently in the architecture. Now, demo will be presented by Abhishek. Yeah, over to you, Abhishek.
Thanks, Rohit. Till now, anyone have any kind of queries regarding this? Okay, so I'm taking as a no. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen visible.
Yeah, Abhishek.
So this is the kind of dashboard we are using. This is a UI for the Kubeclarity. As Rohit explained, that we can use a UI like Kubeclarity with the API as well to integrate in our CI/CD. Suppose that we have to integrate in our CI part, so that we can use their API to put that all the reports, and it can be generated or show we can show or generate the reports or dash on that dashboard. So, and this is a UI part. Let me show you how we are running this. This is our Kubernetes cluster where we have deployed Kubeclarity with the help of Helm. And as you can see that these are the runnings that there is a DB for that, SBOM DB that Rohit discussed about that. This is a scanner analyzer. We have that. There is a SBOM DB we can that. This is a UI part. We can see that. So this is aware, and let me show you like what are the namespaces we have that. So it will be easier to understand to help you that these are the namespaces in my current cluster I have that. So let's go to that. Yeah, you can see here this is a dashboard and what are the vulnerabilities. I have scanned here. Let me rescan for you in the background. So I can select the namespaces according to namespace. I can do the scanning part. If I don't select anything, it will scan for all. Here scanning is in progress. So in background, I can say that like this is a already scanned vulnerabilities. We can have that. How what are the vulnerability critical vulnerabilities we have that, and what is the high, medium, low, and negligible we can have that. So this is a critical one. You can see here that what are the vulnerabilities name we have, what is the severity level, and what is the package name. It's generally like as Rohit discussed that we can. It's Kubeclarity scan not only scan your container, but it also scan the whole code that's running inside the container. What are the packages you have used in the container? What are the things you have used in? What are the base image in the Docker you have used? That it will also scan that part. Suppose that let's see that this is a vulnerabilities we have that. This is just what your common vulnerability scoring. This is a 9.8 score. This is a critical one, and how they are integrated, how they're impact is there. So this is we can get from here also. And if we go and this vulnerabilities, we can say that. And if you want to know more about the package, this package, you can also get the links for that. Okay, for the detail, I can go from here to this to discuss about that. Okay, what are the security issues we have that in this package kind of. So let me go for until I upload that. So we can get this also. And moreover, if I go to that, this vulnerability fix available. So we have a like vulnerabilities, but what are the fix we have that, and what kind of source we have? Is a runtime or like any images or kind of things we can here get the details about here. And also this is a fixing, and we can go by the application wise. Suppose that in our application, in our Kubernetes cluster, we have running these applications, and what are particularly this Helm application is have 12 critical vulnerabilities, for 54 high vulnerabilities we have that here, and 22 packages are there in that. So this is our application wise we can do that. And if we go about the application resources, what are the application resources we have that? And this is according to resources we have that here. What like this is an image, Docker images we have that, and container images we have what kind of images we are using. So total vulnerabilities we have a 99 total vulnerabilities here. And upon that, like Rohit discussed about the analyzer, this is our analyzed by the shift. We can see that. And if we get into that, this is a CIS Docker benchmark, because we are this is a Docker image. So you can see that this is a benchmark, not allow right now. So we can see here all the details, what licenses are it's using that in the, because it's also not only scanning your application, it also using the Git and serverless as well as. So this is a one of the best feature for that. Like this is not only limited to your application. It can be of what are the code and what are the things we are analyzing here. So this is application resource wise. Now talk about the what are the packages we have and packages wise. If we see that, so these are the packages we have used in our Kubernetes cluster and applications. Suppose that if I go to the Python and we can see that. Okay, so these are the version we have that what are the vulnerabilities we have and what is which packages which application is used by these packages, and so you can see that there's SQL Server, yeah, is using this package. So we can easily get that okay this package is in belongs to these applications. And if we go to vulnerabilities wise, so here we can say that like, okay, critical vulnerabilities where we have that, and this is a package name, package version of which application, how many applications we have that, application resources we can list this. This is kind of vulnerabilities wise we can see here that. And let me see that runtime. Okay, this is your scanning complete, and you can see that total vulnerabilities we have right now scanned here 21, and it will high vulnerabilities here, and we can filter out with what kind of vulnerabilities we have that, and it's negatively critical, we can see that, and affected elements, we can see here the application sources, packages, and vulnerability. Also, there is an option of schedule scan. Suppose that we have to schedule properly on particular time, so we can do this for the scheduling applications. It can be automatically run scanning for every 12 hours or every day on the particular timing. We can schedule this also. So this is by this way we can do that. And I think this site is not working. Let me go to the other one. Suppose that this one is, we can see that. Yeah, you can see that these are the details we can have that, like, okay, this package is using this, and this kind of issues we have that, and what are the changes or what are the things, all details. No need to do the searching and called up kind of things which can mess up or increase the time for us. So this is a Kubeclarity. We can have that, and this is kind of one of the best things. Like, it have a backend backing by the Cisco, which we know that Cisco is a very good name in a security industry. So you can see here that in the package wise, with per license type, we can see here that what is the license type and what are the vulnerabilities we have that in particular. Package count wise, we can have all the details, like if we scan on 7th May, or what are the vulnerabilities we have that. So it can be graphical wise, we can present the UI on their part. So this is a Kubeclarity. Anyone, any kind of queries regarding this? So I hope for me, it's like a good application. We can go to our clients and say that for who's much more like interested in securing their applications or kind of things, we can surely suggest this Kubeclarity for our clients also. Yeah, Rohit, over to you.
Yeah, so this is the way, like as Abhishek was explaining you about dash form and whatever the things, like major thing, like if you see, that is quite interesting, like for the links that Abhishek was showing you, that you have to click on that part and you have to check like whatever the vulnerability, whatever the code you are facing, any kind of bugs, this will be helpful. So this is the Kubeclarity that is, and Abhishek was right, like this is the good for our like clients as well. If we go for that, and we will provide the details about Kubeclarity. Yeah, so this is the Kubeclarity. So team, anything, any point, or yeah, Imanshu, we are good.
Okay. So I request everyone, if they are having any queries or any doubts related to the topic that has been delivered today. So you are open to share your queries and doubts with the presenters. I guess this is the right time to get them clarified. No queries, guys. Okay, fine. So we'll be rolling out the feedback form today for this particular session. I'll request everyone, all the attendees that who have joined, they shall and surely submit their feedbacks for this particular session. Also, we'll be rolling out the assessment form. So please do go through it and share your insights that you have gone by this session. Okay, so thank you, Rohit, and thank you, Abhishek, for delivering the session. And thank
Thanks,
you
everyone.
everyone for joining today.